I love about the layers is you could listen through and find that rubbing sound and eliminate it and just get this. And then you could slowly bring that up if you used it as a building. Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com, and today we're doing a first look of Alchemist 2 Cinematic Impacts by String Audio. String Audio has followed up their original Alchemist Cinematic Impacts with a brand new engine and tons of new samples. Library downloads now as 6 gigabytes. It's 3.8 gigabytes of brand new samples, and all of the original samples from the Alchemist Cinematic Impacts version 1. Does include 2 NKIs now in a brand new engine that String Audio has developed with 495 new snapshot presets. Comes with a total of 900 WAV files, and that new engine has 6 different layers for you to blend, manipulate, and adjust. Normally sells for $129 brand new, although there is a special intro price of $99. I'll be sure to include a link to take you straight over to String Audio. If you were a customer of Alchemist 1 and want to upgrade, it sells for $89, and there's also a special intro of $69 for upgrade as well. All links in description below. All right, so this is a first look here. I am familiar with String Audio's other libraries, but I've never used the new engine they've got here. The only thing I do want to say about the new engine is, although there's a lot of power and a lot of controls, the documentation is a little disorienting and takes a little time to kind of comb through with all these arrows showing you what does what. However, I have a feeling it is looking so similar to String Audio's original engine with just some improvements. We're not going to have much trouble. Alchemist 2 Cinematic Impacts number 1. That's what I've got pulled up, and let me see what my notes say, because I believe this is all the samples from the original in the new interface, and then we've got Alchemist 2 Cinematic Impacts 2, which is all the new samples. And you can see here snapshots. If you do get the library, be sure to follow the snapshot installation instructions. You need to copy a snapshots folder into the correct contact documents folder, enabled to preview them. So enough of me talking. Let's just take some listens to these presets, shall we? It's dark 1. I'm just going to hop around a little bit. So each of these you can see is 6 different layers from each of the 900 samples. So we can load it up. Just listen to Slam 113. Sounds a little bit like a boom to me, but and there's a little bit of an organic 63. Here we're going to turn up Impacts 48. And here's the Impacts 30 added to that. And swoosh 9, slam 25. So now you can see all I'm doing is adjusting my layers for each of the 6 samples, and I have a very different sounding cinematic impact than what we started with. Here's the resetting to 8. So not that drastically different, but different balances. We could go to adding alarms. Yeah, now it's getting even more drastically different. All right, that is just with loading in different samples and adjusting those layers. You can see we've got our ability to grab those layers right here, or go forward and backward with these arrows. Let's just do a few more darks. And you can hear there's a pulsing in there. I think that's the thing that really makes these cinematic, is that they've got such long tails. The impacts have a lot of bite and oomph thus far. But the holds, the sustains, running through these 6 different IRs, and you can see they adjust in color by scrolling up and down. You can hear one. It's got like an infinite feedback there. That's probably what I just did, maybe with this. Yeah. There it is. Feedback 7, appropriately titled. Just preview another dark. So you can solo the different layers, just so you can see which ones you like or might want to modify. It looks like you're able to turn the EQ, the color on and off, the effects on and off. You also have a random button. Oh, I got this loaded. Here we go. And random again. I'm doing a little math in my head here. And I'm thinking that 900 times 6, 4,500 possibilities. Is that the correct math? Just from randomization. Let's listen to some Grim presets. Here's Grim 2. Let's check out another one of the Grims. The ability to layer so many great sound design samples. As well as utilize 3 layers of convolution. We haven't even got into any of these motion effects. I'm sure we'll have some pulses there. There's the effects engine and an EQ engine. Let's do another Grim Grim 16. So there's a rattly sound. And we've got one of those feedbacks, I bet. Feedback 2. No. Yeah, it was feedback 2. It was just so heavy. So that's just one sample there. All right, let's move along. Metallic. All those IRs really make this thing. Here it is, this color engine. These are all convolution reverbs. Let's check out a couple organics. Now this was another one here that I might listen through. That's a nice bit of a slam. And then here's a low hit. Yeah, that one was just barely noticeable in all the layers. Organic 44. Yeah. That's really crazy because it's going through those IRs. It's got a very ghosting quality. Another slam. And some reverse convolution in that colors engine. You can hear that. Here's an impact. Same thing with the IR having the kind of reverse nice slam. And then here is the entire sample playback. Definitely string audio's tools have been important in a lot of my scoring work. Just the ability to work so quickly, create your own combinations of layers. Are we using the motion engine finally? Or is that just one sample? We got tuning. And LFO controls. There we go. That LFO is doing all that panning there. Let me see if that LFO is tempo synced. Yep, it is. I just went from 120 to 179. You could hear that change. And now I'm going way low down to 70. Let's do a couple more organics. Signature. Now, the reason I get excited about these is because the sound designer, String Audio, Claudio, puts these together. I'm just a big fan of his temperament, his tastes, and the way he creates sound design. Always excited to hear what he does for his signature collections. Very synthy. I'm wondering if it's not signature sound design by the developer as much as it's supposed to be a signature sound, which is a term used in trailer music. There we go. I had the motion engine. I didn't have it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to use arpeggios on some of these sounds, but I just wanted to engage it. Listen to those IRs. Yeah, that is one of the keys, I think, to the cinematic sound that's created, is using all those different IRs to conjure up even more depth, decay, and tail. Slam 4 and Slam 13. I like that little bit of feedback there lingering at the end. Now, what I love about the layers is you could listen through and find that rubbing sound and eliminate it and just get this. And then you could slowly bring that up if you used it as a building. Yeah, you get the idea. And I just want to point out, everything here already has a MIDI CC assigned, so you're able to for your levels, you're able to just make a template for whatever you use, TouchOSC or a palette or any of your MIDI controllers or faders, and assign them, so you've always got the ability to fade between the 6 here, which I may pick up another 3 banks of sliders just so I could have a specifically dedicated one for this kind of instrument. Let's do a few more slams, and then we'll move on. And there's just so much going on with the sends into the color engine. Of course, the effects, as well as the EQ for each of these 6 layers. I think if you're new to any string audio, it'll take a little time to make sure you understand your signal path, which, of course, is the most important thing to being able to control every bit of the sound. Let's listen to the undertone 8. I like this one. And what I'm doing there is I'm playing up the keyboard just so you can hear that the samples that do have tone do transpose and tune across your keyboard. It's not just this C2 that you play it with. You can also go up to C4, C5, and I'll wait for it to die off a little bit, and C6, 5, sorry. So you start to hear how they're tuned. You get something pretty cool just by messing around and using it as a pitched instrument, even though it's made for impacts. These are almost like impact drones or soundscapes, low atmospheres. So I guess, yeah, undertones is a very apt word for describing. Yeah, anytime I hear a sound like this one here, I'm curious to dive in and see how much of it is LFO, how much of it is the sample. How much of it is the color engine? Just kind of hear what that sound is. I think I mentioned it, but just a note, all 600 of the samples, or 900 of the samples, are delivered as WAV files for those of you who love to work with layering impacts, developing hit points with WAV files in your DAW. I think that's important to note because I appreciate that workflow myself. I heard a little click in that one. I played it a second time just to make sure it was my DAW. Those feedbacks, huh? All right, let's move on. Unearthly. These have a lot of high feedback tone throughout. there's a lot of those feedbacks. As long as you don't hold your notes down, like you would play melodically or quarterly, these colors do work well as an impact and a release. I already did that one, didn't I? Okay. The only thing I want to learn about is the randomization function. When you click it, I want to know, am I randomizing everything within this category, or am I randomizing? Let's see if I can find in the, here we go. Right here, random. Create your own sound. Randomize the type of sound, volume, pan, pitch, ADSR in each layer. Okay. So that doesn't answer my question, unfortunately, which was, does it randomize within the unearthly categories, undertone category, signature, organic, or if it just randomizes out of the entire pool here. This is pretty cool. Great sound design. The instrument itself has some infinite possibilities for creating your own original sound design impacts, which is exactly what you kind of expect from something called cinematic impacts. Always love to hear what String Audio is doing, and although we've only listened to a sample of the new sample set, I am a big fan of the library right now. I think I'm going to be able to get a lot of use out of it, both for scoring, for cinematic-esque series work, short films, TV stuff, as well as adding a lot of atmospheric impacts to my trailer work. Thanks so much for checking out the video. I'd love to hear what you think about the library. Did you own Alchemist 1? Is Alchemist 2 something you're going to grab while it's on that intro sale? Just $69 for owners of Alchemist 1. Be sure and comment in the description below. I'd always love to hear your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe. I'd love your support. And be sure to head over to samplelibraryreview.com for the latest news, reviews, and our weekly deals page.